I want to become an actress. I never had a plan B. I don't believe in plan B. Woke cancel culture is not for comedy.
What are the things that surprise you the most when you arrived in America? Jiaoying, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Canada.
Oh, I love Canada. I already have Sammy, my stylist. He is from Montreal. So he dressed me for you guys because he thinks you guys have very high fashion. He won't allow me come here ugly.
I like the outfit, so
Thank
you
you.
did a great job.
I know.
First of all, could you introduce yourself for those who might not know you?
Yes, so my name is Jiaoying Summers. I am a comedian. I'm a mom. I have 2 children. I have a dog. We don't really care about him. Yeah, I don't remember his name anyway. But I am touring now. I am an immigrant. I came to America when I was 18 years old. So I think my comedy is really international. A lot of people relate to me. It's about ordinary person with extreme ambition and trying to do crazy things.
Let's start with the beginning of your life. You were born in China. How was your childhood?
I think it was, I don't see it as hard as it look like because I'm used to it and I learned to cope with it, and all of the hard things that become laughable with me. I actually felt very lucky because I was born during the one-child policy when you can only have one child.
Okay.
And most family, because if you have one, it's a girl, you can't have another baby. So some family would choose to have the baby at home, not in the hospital, so it's not recorded. And therefore, if it's a girl, they do not keep the girl. They would send the girl away for people who can't have children for adoption, or they would sell the baby to someone else. They don't know the baby is for sale, but they would just send to someone who need the baby. That they actually do not keep the baby, they sell the baby to the black market. That's what happens. And the worst case scenario is that they would dump the baby in the trash. Or there's the little valley called the Death Baby Girl Valley, where the baby girls are dumped there. So I was supposed to go there.
Oh, okay.
But my mother, she couldn't do it. My father was taking me out, and I wasn't gonna go to a dumpster. It was we had arrangement for a relative is gonna take me, but we end up finding out that the other baby girls they end up selling the baby girl to somewhere else. Therefore, if I was sent to the relative, I wouldn't be here. I'll probably be married to a rich guy living a good life rather than telling big jokes on stage. But I was very lucky. My mother does not want to give up on me. So that is a very bad thing because on one hand, she's very traditional. She has to have a son. There's a lot of pressure to have a son. She has to have a son. Another side is like, if she keep me, she has to give up her job, her business, my father's job, and all of her relatives, her sister, brothers, who work for government, they're gonna get pressure to get fired because of their relative, like their sister choose to have a baby. So it's very extreme. It's like if you have a baby, a girl, you want to keep it, you want to have a second baby. It's not just like you have to give up your job. Your sister has to give up. Like most people can't do that to their family. My mom's like, I don't care. I'll pay you. I'll pay you back. So she end up she was forced to leave her job at the bank. She has to end up become a restaurant owner. A businesswoman, then she end up making more money. So sometimes the bad thing is not always bad.
Would you say then that you had a happy life?
I think.
Or did you feel the pressure?
Yeah, a lot of pressure. I never felt beautiful in the Chinese beauty standard. My skin's dark, my lips are big, my jawline's strong. I wasn't never the pretty girl, and my life has been very verbally abusive. But not just me. All my friends, their parents are very. It's just I think the Chinese family mentality is that my parents, my mom, she grew up. They experienced famine and hunger. So when they see we have food, they don't want you to get fat or not do well at school. You have to be. They see you as an extension of themselves, like what a narcissist would do. They would abuse you, think, oh, I'm just because I love you. But I don't think she was a narcissist. It's just the way the Chinese parents parenting their children. But I always felt that I was a part of the family because I always was next to my mother. When she owned the restaurant, I'm always doing my homework at the cashier. I was always helping with the kitchen. I was running around helping. And I was never away from her. I saw how hard she worked, and I understand why she's such a cunt.
Did you have access to like foreign movies and series and music?
Okay. The whole reason I got involved and obsessed with TV show and film is that when I was 6 years old, my mother took me to the restaurant, but nobody's babysitting me because my father wasn't there because my mom had to start as a dishwasher into management until she started owning the restaurant. And she helped my cousin, who is much older than me. She was 15 years older than me. She was already married. She wanted to open a video store, movie video store, like the DVD store. Okay. She was obsessed with movies. She wanted to open a DVD rental store. And she didn't have money, so my mother was able to lend her some money. So she opened the store. My mom said, okay, I lent you the money. Now you have to babysit Jiaoying after kindergarten. So she said, sure. So I would just sit around at a DVD store and I would work in the front to rent things to people, and I would be watching Hollywood movies. And I was so lucky. There's no movie theaters. I was watching The Godfather. I was watching...
That was my next question. What was your influence at that time like?
Oh, all the Hollywood movies. I watched all the classics, Casablanca. I watched all of the great movies. I was very, like, Shawshank Redemption and all of the great movies, Star Wars. I want to become an actress. That's all I wanted, to become an actress. That's what I knew. And of course, there's Japanese porn on the side that people buy. I didn't know that. That's just like, it's from under the drawer. I just sell that too. I was selling Japanese porn when I was 5 or 6.
Did you have the support of your friends, family about that dream, like of becoming an actress?
Oh, it's laughable because it's very confusing because on one side I see beautiful black women, beautiful Latina women with dark skin and thick lips, and they are beautiful. We all know they are beautiful, and they are the leading ladies. On another side, in the Chinese beauty standard, all of the pretty girls, if you see K-pop, you understand what I'm saying, skinny, white, pale skin, very Pharrell, just like, I was auditioning for the school play and they wouldn't let me play any lead girls because I'm not attractive and I don't look convincing as the girl everybody would want. But I knew they were right because that's what it looked like. But when I was watching all the Hollywood movies, it appeared differently. So deep down in my heart, I think I'm ugly, but also maybe they are in the frog under the well. Maybe they don't know what's going on. So I'm going to a bigger place to become a star. I'm going to go to Hollywood when I grow up.
When did you decide that, okay, I'm going to move to the US?
When I wanted to do the school play, I got rejected for like a few years. I couldn't do anything. I started to learn literature, poetry, writing, but I didn't give up. I stopped saying it to people because they just laugh. I kept watching more Hollywood movies, and I kept looking at all those women with darker skin color, and they are beautiful, and they are celebrated. I just felt like I need to go to a place where I'm celebrated, and that's why I always knew I will go to Hollywood. I will go to America. And it was a very hard journey for me to come. Nobody wanted me to come to America.
That was my next question. How did you move there? Like, did you have the student visa? Did you have family there? Did you have like... No family, nothing. Wow.
So I wanted to go there when I was in high school because I invest all my time and energy in literature and school and calculus. So I was very good at school. Matter of fact, I was the top person in school, and I was basically admitted to Peking University, which is the Harvard of China, for classical literature. That's my grandpa's dream. And he was the only person who always thought I was pretty and smart. He actually was my father figure because he spent all his time teaching me poetry, calligraphy, painting, and history, and I Ching in the Chinese classical Bible. And he was my best friend. And his dream is for me to become a professor for classical Chinese literature. Okay. So I did that for him. But what I really wanted is I want to become a performer. I wanted to get on stage and perform. So I had to choose between me and what Grandpa wants. And I told him, I said, Grandpa, I wanted to become an actress. He said, it will be a hard life, literature would be an easy life for you because you already have everything you need to get in the best school you have and the best job you can get. But he said that your dream is going to be harder. But if you choose it, if it happens, it will be much more rewarding. You only have one life. You should choose what you really want. but don't tell your mom I said that to you. So my mother never wanted me to do that. From like first year in high school, I just go to her bed before she go to sleep and start brainwashing her. Mom, I'm gonna go to America. I lied to her about I wanted to learn business in America. I will learn English, I'll learn business, so I can maybe be the person who help to take charge from her brother, my uncle's construction group, which she wasn't involved. They didn't have anybody speak English, and they were very big. They built the Beijing Olympic Stadiums, all the big things, but my mother couldn't be involved. And I thought if I speak English, I learn business, I can come back and help them with the international projects. She started buying into it, but she didn't really want to do that because she didn't want to waste money for me to go to America because I'm a girl. If I go to America as a girl, I end up marrying somebody else and I waste all her money. She wanted my brother to go, but he was lazy, he liked video games. He didn't want to go. Eventually, she finally, 3 years later, the last year of high school, I'm gonna go to Peking University in the summer. It's the last chance. I said, Mom, I'm going to America. And she's like, you know what? If you can raise your first year tuition in 2 days, 20 grand, you can go. Which is a no, but for me it was an opportunity, and I made that happen.
Why Kentucky?
I need to get a visa to get in America, and I applied for around 50 schools. I got accepted in, I think, 80% of them. The one office is University of Illinois. I know I have that one, and later on there's a lot of new offers came in. The first offer was University of Kentucky, and I needed the offer to get a visa. My mother was getting a lot of our relatives, my aunts and my uncles are trying to convince her to stop me from going to America. So she's changing her mind constantly. And I'm afraid that she would change her mind. I wanted to go to America as soon as I can. So I got my first offer. I went to Beijing. I got a visa. And then immediately I got on a flight and I flew 2 days before my birthday. My birthday was my first day in America, in Kentucky. I had all my luggage delayed. I had no blanket. I was sleeping on a wooden dorm with no blanket. I was sleeping inside my little coat.
What are the things that surprise you the most when you arrived in America?
I was a virgin, so I never had sex, and I never know what sex is. And I wasn't attractive when because I had no confidence. I was slouching because my boob just came in. I guess because I don't know. I just recognized my boobs come in, and I had a acne on my forehead. I was a rat. And I had this roommate, we shared a dorm. And then one time I was just reading and I think she's having sex in the bathroom. And I was very scared. I think she was getting beaten by someone.
It was the first time for you, like hearing this type of
yes,
stuff?
Yes, I never watched porn. And in high school, it's very isolated. My goal is to thrive, to be the best, because I wasn't attractive. So all the thing I can do to be in demand and to be admired by everyone, to be loved by my teacher, my mom, or my classmates is to be the best in school. And that's what I did. And that's what I was very good at. I knew nothing about that. So the first time I experienced, I saw or hear sex is my roommate having sex in the bathroom. I was gonna go to take a shower. So she just locked it. I saw somebody was beating her, and I actually went to the person who's the manager, the dorm person, to be like, I think Stella is in danger. It was become a joke, so I had to leave the dorm. People were laughing at me. They called me an old virgin. So I ended up renting an apartment near the campus, which is great because I don't like roommates. I like to walk around naked.
Did you face racism when you arrived in Kentucky or in the US in general?
I think I did, but I didn't understand what chink meant. People call me chink. I said, thank you. I didn't know what they meant. I didn't understand. Actually, I think racism in Kentucky, majority of people, they look at me, they're like, why you look like this? They don't mean to be racist. They don't have a passport. They look at me like, do you know Jackie Chan? They just, it's funny. I don't get offended easy. So I will explain to them, they're like, can you see? Can your eyes see? They are so small. I'll be like, I can see just fine. Because I don't even speak English and I don't know racism, because in China, everybody's Chinese. People hate you because you're poor, So I don't understand they hate you because you're black. They hate you because you are Asian. That took me a while to see it, and I saw it. So at the beginning, I was very naive. I didn't know racism, and actually the worst form of abuse I ever experienced was actually when I was working as a waitress in a Chinese restaurant, a Japanese restaurant. There's a Chinese man who owns it. So because I didn't have a green card, they made me to clean the bathroom, mop the floor, and clean dishes, also wait table. And I wasn't getting paid a lot of money, but the employee dinner, right after your shift, or the employee would have the chef would cook for everybody to eat. There'll be fish and vegetables and rice. So whenever I get to eat my food, I have no fish, no vegetables, only the rice. So I found out the chef, his family, his daughters are my classmate at the school in Kentucky at UK, and so I know her very well. But they have a son who's young, who's like 15 or 16. So he took my food and packed it up for his son. So I just eat sriracha with rice. And then the Mexican busboy saw that, and he started hiding my food for me. And he didn't speak English. I don't speak English. So this Chinese chef was from China, who is a father, who has a Chinese daughter, same age as me, would let me starve because his son's more important. This Mexican guy who is a busboy, who doesn't know who I am, and he saw that, he hid my food for me.
Wow, that's crazy. You wanted to be an actress, but did you have a plan B?
I had a plan A, is that I will be an actress. If I'm not an actress, I'll just be an actress. And I think my plan A, I had one plan, is that I'll not be a starving artist. I worked very hard in Kentucky to learn English. I don't really speak well, but I understand the culture. When I was in Kentucky, I want to learn the language. I didn't speak a word when I came. I know A, B, C, D, E, F, G. How are you doing? I'm fine, thank you, and you. That's all I know. But I want to learn English, understand American culture, and learn finance and business and economics. And so I can make money to support myself, to take the best acting class, to invest my time into acting, pursuing acting. So I was working for Women's Fund Management Group as their China liaison for investment, EB5 investment, like immigration-based investment group. I was making good money, like white collar money. And I was, because my skills, bilingual, and my connection in China, I didn't have to go to the office every day. I needed 5 days in the office, including travel. So the rest of the time I can actually go study acting and pursue my acting full time. I never had a plan B. I don't believe in plan B.
After that, you started to do like auditions for shows, right?
I started, when I came to Los Angeles, I know nobody. I mean, just like I came to Kentucky, I know nobody. But deep down in my heart, I knew I needed mentorship. I needed direction. So that's when I started volunteering for Julie Andrews' charity. Julie Andrews, the Mary Poppins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she has a charity called Operation USA. And they had a charity party that I started work at the party to just serve drinks. And I end up applied to volunteer for the charity to translate things and help them raise money from China for their projects that China would be interested. So I end up raising around $100,000 for a project for them in North Dakota for the Native Americans. Because they had the project, the money they raise from the founder, from people who donate money, that they have projects they want to do. Like if I want to help, homeless kids, I don't want to use my money to spend on the reservation for the winter for the Native Americans. So I said, I think it's a cause I can help. So I was able to go to China and pitch a local charity because they are really upset about the propaganda when America talk about the Chinese government don't care about Tibetans, because American government don't care about the Native Americans. They don't care. They want them to die on the reservation. So I end up convincing the foundation in China. I'm like, listen, don't you think we look like the Native Americans? They think they are from China somehow. back in the days. So they think it would be a good thing to do is to raise money for them to buy like a space heaters from Honeywell for the renovation. So I got $100,000 to buy a space heater from Honeywell. So Honeywell was also a partner, so we were able to get half off. So I made that deal. After that, the charity was impressed with me, like, what do you want? I said, I want to be an actress. They're like, okay.
Full focus.
Julie Andrews' agent can talk to you. So that's where I met Nicole David. She was a power agent. She had Julie Andrews, Patrick Swayze, and Whitney Houston. And she met me. She's like, there's nothing special about you. You don't speak English. You're pretty, but everybody's pretty. What do you want? I said, I want to be an actress. She said, everyone wants to be an actress. What do you have? I said, my heart. She goes, well, I can't help you, but if you can study with Howard Fine, and if you end up he end up getting in his master class, come back to me, we can have a conversation. But now I don't have time. Close the door when you leave. So I left, went to that. I went to Howard Fine. He's a master legendary acting coach in Hollywood, and I went to the big class, and I arrived late. He hated me. I was wearing my heels, doing the group thing. He said, "This is not a strip club," He didn't like me, and he wanted me to just quit. So he gave me Lady Macbeth for our audition thing for the master class. So I just memorized everything. I worked very hard. So when I performed, he got up and he had tears in his eyes. He said, I was wrong about you. Welcome to my master class. So that was a year later. I went back to Nicole. I'm like, I'm in his master class. He's like, are you sure? She's like, are you sure? I said, I'm pretty sure. She goes, well, I'm gonna call up Halle Berry's manager, see if he's interested in meeting you. Because he's good with minority talents. So you are a Chinese girl. So I think maybe he can see what he can do for you. And that's where I met Vincent Sirincione. He was my first manager. And that's how he got me the audition with John Singleton. And that's when John Singleton told me, you should do stand-up comedy. When he saw my audition, he said, you are naturally funny.
How did you felt after your first open mic night?
To be honest, I was very bad at the beginning. You can be naturally funny with your friends, but being funny on stage is a different story. The first open mic, it was in Koreatown. I went up there and I was shaking. I just felt like I don't even speak English, There's so many things they can laugh about me. My accent, I don't speak English. I don't understand the culture as much as I wish I could. And the stage fright. And my materials maybe not funny. I remember the first time I did my comedy, stand-up comedy, I was standing in front of Vincent's desk with his pen as a microphone. He's like, well, there's nothing funny about it, but you can go to the open mic and understand why it's not funny. I was nervous. People told me you should get off stage, you're not funny. And it felt very bad. It felt like my whole life replaying in front of me, rejection after rejection.
So did you have a moment where you wanted to give up or like?
No, I never did. When it was bad, I'm like, okay, we did it, so it's bad. So I said, John, I was bad. You were wrong. I'm not funny. He goes, you need 10,000 hours before you can even call yourself a comedian. I said, how do I get that? He goes, it's a lot of hustle. I said, no, I'm buying a club. So the next week, I start location scouting for a comedy club. Then I bought a comedy club the next week.
If you had to choose between stand-up comedian or acting in movies, what would you choose?
I think I'll always be doing both. Even though I can be, acting is easier than comedy because acting is, you are taken care of. You have a team behind you, the writer, the director, the producer, the marketing, the studio. But comedy is your fault. You are on stage, you are on your own. If people are not laughing, you are a bad comedian. But you can always remember the movies that the actor was so good, but the editing was bad. But the story was not great. But you never say that's all the actor. This movie bombed because of the actor.
What would you say to someone who don't know you to make them come to see you?
My comedy is about authenticity. It's about being honest. It's about being okay with all your flaws. I talk about everything. Sometimes it's not comfortable, but life is not comfortable. And I feel like if you are a comedy fan, if you are into real comedy, I am a female Don Rickles. I am the Chinese Joan Rivers. But above all, I am me, and I think I embody the spirit of true comedy. That is, there's no boundary. The boundary is funny. Woke cancel culture is not for comedy.
What is your process to create a show? Do you write a lot? Do you use anecdotes?
I think whenever something touched my heart, I would write it down. Even though during moments I'm heartbroken, something comes to my mind. I cry with laughter. I just like, that's funny. I'll write it. Because your mind is a fleeting thing. When something happens, I remember to write it down, because sometimes I have something really smart, then I forget about it. It's like, you have arguments with somebody, you're like, fine! You walk away, you're like, damn, if I said that would be so good. Like, I was like, remember like when Chris Rock, he got slapped by Will Smith, I feel like if I was Chris Rock, I wish I could just feed him to his earpiece, be like, just say, God damn, it hurts. It's gonna hurt until August.
Wow.
Because Jada was fucking August. That would be the perfect name.
August and Sinaya.
Right? Like, it's gonna hurt until August.
Wow, smart.
That would be so good, right?
Yes.
Because that's the moment, I don't want that to happen to me. So I'm like, whenever something, I'll write it down.
Is it harder to be funny when you talk directly to the crowd?
I didn't understand that I can talk to them live. Like, I didn't know I can be fast on my feet, but I am. So I love talking to them because I want them to have a live experience. Whenever I come to a city, I will always talk about the city. I don't go to a city just like ignore where I am, who I am, where I am, like the people. That's the whole idea. I feel like comedy is like a jazz, like playing jazz. Every time, every set sounds the same. It's my life story, but it's different. It's like a deck of cards I threw in the air. I don't know which one's coming down. I don't know what I want at the moment. It's the same feeling, but it's ever-changing.
What is the hardest moment in your life?
Hardest moment in my life? I think is when my mother, she was worried sick. When I was getting a divorce, I knew it was happening. My baby was just born. My daughter was just born. I was leaving a marriage. So my mother wanted me to move back to China and go to court and get spousal support and child support. But I know the game of it is that my ex he's rich, he's successful, he's connected, and he doesn't want the divorce. So he's gonna make it extremely difficult for me for it to be legalized. And I wanted to do comedy. I have to be in the States, and which means I have to give up everything, but to keep the children. So my mother was sick. She got so angry at it because she found out I'm gonna be with those 2 children. I'll have the children, but with no money. She was sick, and she actually was bedridden. So I stopped doing comedy. I was home taking care of the kids and taking care of my mom and she has vertigo. Like the elder generation, when they don't know how to process their anger and their resentment, they end up in their body, and she couldn't get up. She hadn't been eating for a month. And I took her to the hospital. I can't help, and she was literally dying. And the guilt and helpless of me being selfish, trying to pursue my dreams, and the babies crying, and the maid were leaving because they know I lost all my money and they don't think I can afford them. I had to sell all my belongings to keep the maid, trying to be there for my mother so she can recover. At the same time, the guilt, I was torn apart. Should I chase my dream, or should I just be a good daughter, a good mom? That was the hardest part, I think.
What is the thing you are the most proud of?
I think it's the courage I have. I've always been proud of the courage I have. I think the joke I would say, the risk I would take, and the thing I would believe in myself, nobody does. I think that is what I feel like the gift I can give to my children, that they will always gain from it. They always have it them, and my fans and people who appreciate my comedy would feel it and know like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it better. Because that's the reality. I don't deserve what I have, but I believe in what I deserve, and that's how I have these things. A lot of girls, I have my friend, she wanted to be an actress, and she's so much more prettier than me. She's a white girl, tall. Another girl, she's a black girl. She's a makeup artist. She's so brilliant, but they both reason to move to America. They are afraid how expensive it is. Maybe they're not good enough when they are so much better than what I have. And I came here, and they just was saving up for the money. Now they are all married with kids, and they are happy, but they still just always wonder, if I just went to LA and pursued, what would happen? So I felt that people don't understand how special they are.
What is the most important advice you received in your life?
It's about decision making. Is that you can always ask decisions from people who's wiser than you, somebody who's smarter than you, somebody you wish you could be. But you have to remember, at the end of the day, you are the one who makes the decision. Whatever you feel right now, do it. Just do it. If it's a mistake, you learn from it. But don't do something your heart don't want you to do. Just do what your heart wants. That's what I did.
And now, what are your next goals and dreams? Is there anything you want to achieve?
Yes. I think at this stage of my career, I can actually take a deep breath and spend more time with the children. I would have wanted to go to the next level with my art and creativity. With writing, I wanted to write more. And we have TV show and film in development for me. And my first hour special is going to be filmed on February. And my 30 minutes is on Peacock TV. So we have TV, we have a few TV pilot too. So TV, film, movie, and my 1 hour special. And I wanted to really, this year, 2025, actually enjoy the road. When I go to the city, actually come one day early, explore it, enjoy life, and be happy.
Okay, well, we wish you all the best.
Thank
Thanks
you
for your
so
time.
much for having me.
You're welcome.